Which chip to use for my DAC? Are ESS chips better than AKMs? Those are the questions us true audiophiles lose our sleep on and wage endless wars in social media. Well, it might be that Douk Audio with its newest DAC has just become our peacemaker. My name is Greg, and here's everything you need to know about this double chip. Yes, you heard it right, two chips. DAC-Q11. Right at this moment, Taylor Swift is giving her show right here in Warsaw, Poland.
Who's Taylor Swift?
Believe it or not, but I managed to buy a ticket to her concert just this morning. I'm not really getting this whole Taylor Swift thing, but my wife is totally into her, so much so that she even started watching American football, and we live in Europe. So while she's screaming like a 15-year-old, I have some time to make this video and tell you about this DAC I received from Douk Audio. Thank you, by the way, for sending this to me. And tell you why, in my opinion, this might be the unit that we all audiophiles and wannabe audiophiles have been waiting for such a long time. First of all, I have to say that I was positively surprised when I received the package. It seems that Douk Audio is stepping up their game in the affordable electronic audio gear industry. It's one of those Chinese brands that have revolutionized the audio industry or hi-fi industry recently by offering good quality products, a variety of products at very affordable prices. In my opinion, brands like Topping, SMSL, AIMA or Fuzzy Audio have been leading the pack so far. However, with this DAC, Douk Audio is putting itself in the same league. The packaging, the box is pretty nice. It even comes with nice quality USB cables and optical cables to give you the choice of connection. Of course, it comes with an external power supply and a remote. It's a generic remote, but it does the thing pretty well. It even comes with a nicely printed manual, which besides all the basic information, Q&As, even gives you the data on how it measures. And it measures very well. The total harmonic distortion is at 0.0003%. Signal to noise ratio is above 117 dBs, as far as I remember. I will put the correct number on the screen. The manual is usually not the case and is a very nice touch. The tube preamp I bought recently on AliExpress, and which, by the way, I liked a lot, and I link the review of it in the description below, came with a one-page manual in Chinese. The unit itself weighs about 1 kilogram, which is 2 pounds. The casing is aluminum, and at the top we have a plexiglass window, which allows us to see the insides of the DAC, which are backlit in blue. And this, to me, clearly suggests that this unit is for geeks like us who like watching the insides of such units and can appreciate the circuit boards, chips, etc. At the front, we have two displays. The one on the right shows such information as the volume level, the input selected, and the file resolution of the song that we are listening to right now. Just a quick reminder, a DAC is a digital to analog converter that takes the digital signal from your computer or a music streamer and converts it into analog music signal that goes into your amplifier and then the speakers. The quality of the DAC directly influences the quality of the music that you are listening to. The second screen on the right shows the mode the DAC currently operates on. And this is the moment to reveal its secret weapon. It has two different DAC chips. One is ESS9038Q2M chip, and the other one is AKM AK4493. You can switch on the fly between those two DAC chips and finally compare directly the sonic differences of both. And I will talk about my sonic impressions in a minute later in this video. There are three modes of operation for this DAC, and they relate directly to the outputs. So let's have a look at them. The unit has two sets of analog outputs, two pairs of RCA outs, and two pairs of 3.5 millimeter auxiliary outs. In the first mode, one set of outputs, so one RCA and one 3.5 millimeter jack output, gives the signal from the ESS chip, and the other set of outputs give the signal from the AKM chip. So you can run those two simultaneously to two different amps, or to the same amp into two different audio signal inputs, and switch between them in your amplifier so that you can switch between one sound signature and the other sound signature. The second and third mode send signal from either the ESS or the AKM chip to both sets of RCAs. And this is how I used this DAC when I was testing it. I connected the DAC via one set of RCA cables into the amp and used the supplied remote control to switch between the modes or the two different chips on the fly to compare those two sonic signatures. Oddly enough, you can only switch between the modes of operation from the remote control and not from the unit itself, since volume control or volume knob is the only interface that this DAC has, and while it allows you to switch between different input sources, which are USB, coax, or optical, it does not allow you to switch between different modes of operations. So if you lose the remote control or your dogs eats it, you're screwed. The amps I used for testing were Fuzzy Audio ZA3 Class D amp, Wilsonton R8 Class AB tube amp, and the latest Fuzzy Audio V3 monoblocks. As for speakers, I relied on Wharfedale Lintons and ELAC Debut 6.2s. Just a quick personal note. I'm thrilled to announce that we are nearing 3,000 subscribers on this channel. This means that this community of like-minded people interested in audio gear is growing very rapidly. I'm so grateful to you with your support and involvement. With more people subscribing to the channel and watching those videos, I'm even more motivated and capable of testing more audio gear and sharing my opinions about them with you. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. Yes, I mean now. Thank you. And like this video so it can reach wider audiences of like-minded people. Thank you again. And now back to the review. In terms of sonic differences, AKM chips are typically known to be more smooth, warmer, and musical, whereas ESS chips are more detailed, more analytical, and a bit sharper. AKM's design is simpler and thus easier to implement. It has less elements, so the sound is less distorted or less impacted by a complex design and the number of elements that it goes through. ESS DACs are more complex and also trickier to implement. And as we all know, the ultimate sound quality of the DAC does not only depend on the chip itself, but on how it was implemented and all the surrounding parts of the chip. When listening to the Q11, I was able to spot the differences in sonic characteristics between the two chips, but to be totally honest, the differences were very subtle. It was not like night and day when you switch between one or the other. And depending on the gear I used and the music I listened to at the moment, I tended to sometimes prefer one chip or the other. And I think this is the biggest selling point and the biggest strength of this DAC, because it allows you to choose between those two different sonic characteristics of two different chips in one DAC, depending on your current setup, the music you are currently listening to, or the quality of the recording, and the mood you're in, whether you want to listen more critically and have the sound to be more transparent and analytical, or if you want to just relax or play the music in the background and have this a bit warmer, more musical sound signature. With DAC-Q11 from Douk Audio, you can do it just by pressing one button on the remote, and you don't have to unplug one device from your rack and plug another one. Just press one button. At $159 currently on Amazon, I think this DAC is definitely worth considering if you are on the market for a DAC, for a new DAC for your system, and are wondering which chip or what technology to choose. It will simplify the dilemma of which DAC chip to choose and will give you more flexibility when listening to your favorite music. And if you're looking for a tube preamp that will introduce tubiness into your music system, have a look at my recent review of this $30 AliExpress gem.